Welcome to the Mirror Moves, where justice isn't just served, it's irrigated, tilled, and harvested with style. When entitled Karens and power-hungry HOAs think they run the show, they forget one thing. Real power doesn't come from a clipboard. It comes from land, legacy, and in this story, water. Subscribe for weekly drama. Now let's begin. They say you can't fight City Hall, but they never said a thing about fighting the HOA. My name is Grant, I'm 49, and I run a 2,100-acre farm passed down from my grandfather just outside of Westover, Arizona. I'm not flashy. I wear the same boots every day. I live in the same farmhouse my grandparents built with their bare hands. And up until recently, I didn't even know my land technically bordered a new luxury subdivision called Cypress Bluffs. But Cypress Bluffs knew about me, and they wanted me gone. It started, as these things often do, with a letter, folded neatly in a glossy envelope marked Urgent Notice of Violation. It arrived on a sunny morning while I was out on the tractor. Inside, 3 pages of HOA complaints. Noise from my chickens. Unapproved odors from livestock. Disruptive machinery during quiet enjoyment hours. They gave me 48 hours to cease all unauthorized agricultural activity. I laughed. My land wasn't part of their HOA. They had no jurisdiction. But what I didn't know yet was that they were planning something far worse than fines. The next morning, a white BMW pulled into my drive. Out stepped a woman in heels, pantsuit crisp, lips thinner than her patience. "Mr. Palmer," she sniffed. "I'm Elise, president of the Cypress Bluffs HOA. We've received several complaints. We'd like to discuss your transition plan." Transition? Yes, away from agriculture, toward community enhancement. I blinked. Then I laughed. I'm not transitioning anywhere. This land's been in my family for 3 generations. She didn't flinch. "Well, unfortunately, the county has just approved annexation of your northern parcel. It's now under Cypress Bluffs zoning." "What the hell are you talking about?" She handed me a packet. Pages of fine print. Quiet rezoning agreements, backdoor land sales, and a line that made my stomach drop. Effective immediately, Parcel 17B is subject to HOA compliance. That was my livestock well and irrigation gate. They had annexed my water supply. I called my cousin Sarah. She's a land use attorney. Within minutes, she spotted the play. Someone in the county registry had filed an expedited title transfer using an old loophole tied to my great-uncle's estate. Technically, a tiny 6-acre slice of my northern edge was still under his name, and apparently sold for $12,000 to a shell company linked to Cypress Bluffs. And with that sliver, they'd grabbed leverage over every drop of water that ran downhill. For a few days I played nice. Let Elise send her warnings. Let the neighborhood gossip. Let them smile at their HOA meetings, thinking they'd outmaneuvered the old farmer. What they didn't know was that while the irrigation gate was on 17B, the pump control and feeder valve were not. That was still on my land, still mine, and that meant I held the faucet. The day they tried to fine me $500 for excessive rooster crowing, I flipped the first switch. Water stopped flowing to 3 community fountains. The golf course sprinklers dried out, and the luxury pool at Cypress Rec Center turned a cloudy shade of beige. I gave it 24 hours. Then, I got a call from the HOA Utilities Committee. "Mr. Palmer, we seem to be experiencing a water disruption." "No kidding," I said. "Maybe take it up with your president." Then I hung up. They sent inspectors. But I had my permits in order. And my pump station was locked behind a solar-coated cattle gate. Nobody was getting in without a warrant or a blowtorch. When the next compliance letter came, threatening legal action for withholding resources vital to community safety, I went nuclear. I leaked everything. Through Sarah, I sent every rezoning scam, every shady land transfer, every forged signature from their title grab to the local paper. Within 72 hours, it was front-page news. Farmer fights back. HOA's illegal land grab under investigation. Elise tried to play damage control. Held a press conference blaming clerical confusion. But the story had teeth. Turns out I wasn't the only victim. They'd used the same annexation scam on a retired couple down the road. Tried to turn their sunflower field into a community meditation labyrinth. I organized a landowners coalition. We sued. Not just the HOA, but the developer behind Cypress Bluffs, and the title agency that signed off on the annexation. 6 months later, we won. The judge didn't just void the fake sale. She dissolved the entire HOA charter due to fraud and ordered restitution. Elise was fined personally. The developer lost their county contracts. And that little 6-acre strip is back in my cousin's name. We planted wildflowers on it. Now, when I ride my tractor past the fence line, I wave at the few neighbors who stayed. Most moved. Cypress Bluffs is a ghost town. Dry, dusty, full of for sale signs. But my well still runs deep. My family still on our land. And the HOA, let's just say, they forgot who really controls the flow.